So today I'm going to make a very simple program in C, a simple calculator, and my calculator will do division, addition. Okay, let's just stick with the symbols, subtraction and multiplication, and one more. I'll also print the remainder. So yeah, let's get started. So for C++, to create any program, to write any program, we need this standard library header file, sorry. So stdu.h, and since I'm not going to use many big functions, so I don't think I'll be using any other header other than the usual stdu.h. So what I'm planning, I'll take two numbers as input from the user, and then display the 5 values that I get from the 5 arithmetic operations on them. Cool. So let's take input from users. So I'm going to enter, so let's just do this, enter any number, and we'll give, okay, enter any number, yeah, that's fine. And I also want my \n character so that my the new line, we get a new line rather than sticking to the same line. Enter any number, or I really want to let the user know that this is going to be their first number, and I'm going to take it via scanf, send d and num1. Okay, one more thing, I need to initialize my variables, so num1, num2, and yeah, this much is fine at this moment. And let's enter second number. Okay, so rather than writing enter any number and then in bracket first number, I'm just going to display enter first number and then enter second number, and then we will store these two numbers in two different variables which have been defined using the data type float, num1 and num2. And now I'm going to do some calculations. One more thing, so the user has the option to choose which calculation they want to perform. That's why this is a calculator. So the user will also choose which arithmetic operations they want to perform. Cool. So I'm going to let the user know as well how to use the calculator. So to use the calculator, enter the following. What is this following? Let's see. So if the user wants to perform division, then they have to enter a certain character. So yeah, so for division, this is going to be D. For multiplication, okay, for multiplication you have to enter M. I'm just going to copy paste it rather than for division, for multiplication, for subtraction, and for addition. For subtraction, enter S, and for addition, enter E. Okay, so I just realized, for making things more simple, let's have only 4 arithmetic operation at this moment, because I thought I was going to do something else. Then I realized, okay, no, I'm making a calculator, and this is really about choosing like how a calculator is to be made. Yeah, so let's just stick to 4 operations at this moment. So yeah, so this and all user has to enter, and so the user will be entering just one character. So I'm going to use as so what character, what should be the name of the variable that the user takes to enter the, so calculation, yeah, calculation, fine. So scanf, and this is going to be %C, and calculation, calculation. Also for scanf we need to clean the input buffer if there is any, otherwise your scanf, when you will use scanf for a character, it will just take the last line, and it will not actually take any character from you. So get char is important here. And once the user enters the whatever they want to perform, then things will happen. So now I'm going to use switch statements. So now my switch is calculation, and so here we can make this calculator using switch and if else statement. So in this example I'm going to make use of switch statements and not if else statements. I can also make the calculator using if else, but for like really small programs it's advisable to use switch in case rather than if else. So case if the user has entered D, so my result is going to be num2 divided by num1. Okay, let's just initialize my result as well here. Sorry, declare, not initialize. I'm just declaring it here. The initializing and declaring are two different operations or two different terms. Now I'm going to use break statement. If I do not use break statement, things will go haywire. Now M, if the user enters M, my result is going to be num2 into num1. Then I'm going to use break again. I'll also show you what happens if you do not use break. Next, what was my user going to enter? So it was S. So if it enters S, my result is going to be num2 minus num1. So this is basically a very basic program. You can play around it as like however you want to like code further. This is just a very basic how to use the switch in case, and like just an example of a calculator. There's not so much logic as you can already see here. Now if my case is A, my result is going to be sum of these two numbers and break. And at the end of my program, what I'm going to do after I come out of the switch statement, I'm just going to print the result. So the result of your operation on percent f and percent f is percent f as per the operation, whatever character they had entered. Yeah, let's always make sure that we add the \n character, otherwise your result might not look good. It has nothing to do with the calculation, just how your result is going to look on the terminal. So my first percent f is num1, second is num2, and the result is here percent f. So this is my result variable, and I also want to let the user know what calculation they chose. So I'll also be displaying whatever they chose here, and that's it. Let's test. GCC symbol calculators. Okay. Char, but the argument has scan percent. Okay. Sorry, whenever we are scanning something, we need ampersand sign. And yeah, GCC and the file name.c is how we compile a program on Mac or basically Linux type systems. Some people also use editors and compiling softwares. I think like compiling through terminal is better. But if you want to know more about compiling through terminal and executing your executables through terminal, I can post a video on that as well. But as of now, yeah, GCC and file name.c is how I am compiling my program, and this ./a.out is how I am executing my executable. So enter your first number. So let's just do 48. And enter my second number. I'll take 3. And okay. So the C, it does not look good at all. Division D, and then there is no space or nothing. So that's what I'm talking about. There will be no error, but it will not look good. So yeah, so maybe we need some characters like \n or \t for new line and tab respectively. So right now I'll just enter, maybe I want to do division, so D. So the result of your operation is on 48 and 3 is 0.0625. How did that happen? Because my first number is 48 and my second number is 3, so it did 3 by 48, and yeah, that's why this result is like less than 1. If it would have done like 48 by 3, then it would have been 16, but it's not so. It's 1 by 16 actually. So actually we can also play like this. If num2 is greater than num1, then we do num2 by num1. If it is less than num1, like we can play around however you want using if-else statements, combinations of if-else and switch, or just if-else. We can do whatever we want. And yeah, also about here, we can make it look more aesthetic by using just \n, and everything will look aesthetic now, which it was not looking. So okay, so I will compile it again just for the sake of it. Okay, so as we can see, my num1 I will enter maybe 3 this time, and my num2 will be 4, And yeah, so now it looks better. So right now I just want to multiply my two numbers, so I'll just use m. And yeah, make sure that whatever it is telling you, like I mean, this is very basic. M and M, these both M's are different in C. These both are different because they have like different ASCII characters behind them. So yeah, so and now we'll get 3 and 4 is 12. And yeah, if you are wondering why we are getting like 6 digits after the decimal, then it's because we have like %f float, and by default float shows 6 digits after the decimal. But if you want to play around it, you can play around it. Maybe if you want just 2 digits after the decimal, then we can do that as well, or 0.1, or let's just leave as it is. And yeah, just show you. So this time 2 and 3, and I want to multiply again. So yeah, as you can see. So this was a basic program, like making a simple calculator using switch cases statements and not if else. However, we can use if else as well. And so this was the basic program. If you want to know more, let me know. I can make a video on it. And you can subscribe also, because I'm planning to make more of content on C and C++. And thank you so much for listening to me till now. Bye bye.